obviously through 2 days, it's hard to get a good gauge of a lot of things, but what have just been your early impressions and what you've seen out there?
The biggest thing that stands out is just how much further ahead we were than this time last year. Even going back and looking at some of those clips, it's almost comical where we were starting from, and I think the guys have picked up from where we left off in December, and you know, and have a good spirit about them. You know, the guys have been wanting to compete, but all that being said, when contact's not involved in the game, there's really not a whole lot that you can evaluate from, other than the fact that we know how to get lined up.
Manny, it must have been nerve-wracking last year starting three freshmen at linebacker. How much does that experience, do you see it now? And what kind of a blessing was that to have to play those guys so early?
Well, with all of it, we had a lot of inexperienced players, and the best thing about freshmen is that they become sophomores. You know, so they now understand what it takes to be a big-time college ball player, and they understand, you know, what really what the season requires of you. You know, because you can only really, you have to experience it to really understand it. So. For not just those guys, but a lot of the young guys that we played a year ago, and even the sophomores that were really getting their first-time experience, you know. That's the advantage of having guys that are coming back that know what it's about.
The personalities of those guys, just talking to them, do they seem like they were freshmen last year and they're sophomores?
Well, they're all. I think you guys all know they're all three really unique kids. They're all, you know, unique personalities. They have a different type of maturity about them. It's for the linebackers, it's fascinating because they're all so different. They're all different personalities, and it's fun when you sit there at a meal and the three of them are talking to each other. It's like they're like an old married couple. You know, one guy's a little bit messier, one guy's a little neater, one guy, you know, they all have their little funny idiosyncrasies. So but again, we have a lot of guys that are like that on our defense that are fun to be around and they're fun to coach.
Manny, is Sheldrick at safety an experiment or a permanent move, and could you assess where you stand at safety in your mind at this point?
Well, we just felt like coming out of our off-season program, we wanted to put our best forward defensive backs as we saw them competing in that program. We felt like that he was stepping up, but we wanted to see what he could do at that position at safety after we evaluated where we were from a year ago. We believe we have more options, not just that are on campus right now, but that are coming in at corner to cover those spots, and we felt like he had the skill set to do some of the same things that Rayshon Jenkins did at the field safety position. Now, all that being said, you know, we don't use the word experiment. You know, we don't have lab coats and Bunsen burners and things like that. But certainly we're trying to put our guys where we feel like they have the best position to succeed for them, which ultimately will help out the defense as a whole. You know, but that's not to say that and we told them if it doesn't work out, you can always go back to corner. We can always, you know, move other guys around. So we're just trying to find our best guys to fit.
At corner, you know, who are some guys that you like right now, and then what do you want to see from them this spring that they have to do to sort of, you know, be starters or at least be in the two deep in the fall when more guys come?
Well, I think what we proved last year is that you know, if we can run to the ball, set edges, and tackle, that we can be a functioning secondary. And then if you can bat down a pass when they throw it to your man or even catch it, then it's a bonus. So when you look at what we have to replace, let's using a guy like Corn Elder, or use Elder and Colbert as both as examples, you know, the way that they control the outside of the football field on run and pass is really what we're missing. So those guys know that first and foremost. That's what we'll find out on Saturday starting. You know, is physically can they fit the bill of what we want, the way we want our corners to play, and do they have the sense of urgency down after down? It's not a position where you can be up and down. It demands your best on every play, and that's what they'll have to rise to that challenge.